It's been a few months since I bought the AirPods Pro 3, and there are a few things you need to know before buying. I've used them everywhere, at home, in the gym, on a plane, on busy markets, and I noticed myself cycling between whoa and whoa pretty frequently. The AirPods Pro 3 aren't my first AirPods. I used to have the first generation and the second generation as well. I also have Sony XM5s, so I do know a thing or two about headphones. For me, AirPods are not the headphones for high-fidelity music. They're just everyday headphones that I take to the gym, to explore the city, wear on public transport, and so on. If I want proper noise cancellation when I'm on the streets, I'll use Sony. When I'm editing my videos, I'll use Sony. But after I bought the third generation AirPods Pro, I realized that these can actually replace all the headphones I have. A lot of people had complaints about the fit and the new style of ear tips. And for the first 2 or 3 weeks, it was really unusual. For my ears, the headphones were protruding so much, and I didn't really like that. I think the way the first and second gen AirPods Pro fit inside my ears is somewhat better. They sit deeper and actually use the ear canal as support. The third generation only relies on rubber tips to hold them in place, and 99% of the time I have no issues with that. The only time I wish I had my old ones on is when I'm lying on my side in bed. I can be listening to a podcast before going to sleep, or just watching a video lying sideways. The old AirPods don't give any discomfort in this position, but the new ones kinda do. But that's about it. I'm not gonna go into detail about every single little feature these AirPods have, because for me, an everyday user, and for you, what actually matters is how it all works together. And the thing I hate the most about these AirPods is that I had to update my iPhone to iOS 26 to use them. Before that, I was using iOS 17, and my 15 Pro performed way better and way faster with way better battery life. But after all this time with these new AirPods, I would say the update was actually worth it. The noise cancellation, the audio quality, the features kinda make up for all the compromises I have to take with my iPhone. And when I say features, I don't mean live translation. I mean the simplicity and convenience. I've been using my first gen AirPods Pro since 2019. I had a brief couple of months using the second generation before passing them on to my brother, so in a way, a lot of things the third generation has were new to me, like adaptive noise cancellation. Did you know that in settings you can turn off the transparency and leave just the adaptive and noise cancelling? For me, this is very useful, because right now I'm traveling Asia, and everyone who has been to Asia knows how loud it is at all times. So having no noise cancellation is kinda overwhelming and difficult for me. Adaptive mode is the #1 mode I use, and it is so good that sometimes I think I have noise cancelling on. It's that effective. And that noise cancellation, oh my god, it's so good. If you are sitting in a semi-quiet room, there won't be much difference between the first gen and the third gen, or second and third gens. But once you go outside and face the noise of this world, the difference becomes so prominent. The AirPods Pro 3 cancel out so much more noise. Of course, they don't make it totally silent, but all the annoying noise, all the rumble, all the low frequencies are gone. There are headphones with much better noise cancelling, and I would say even my XM5s do a better job outside, but they are somewhat bulky, and I don't always want to carry them around just to have my music playing slightly better. Before writing this script and making this video, I watched a lot of reviews from other people, and so many have complained about the audio quality being worse than on the second gen. I have the second generation right there, and let me tell you, for my personal taste, the third generation sounds so much better. The audio is fuller, it has more bass, more character to it. I've never been a person who likes lots of bass in my music, but I think the third generation really nails the balance, at least for me. And I'm not saying the first or second generation sound bad. No. They sound really good as well, just in a slightly different way. Pair all that with features like spatial audio and Dolby Atmos in Apple Music, and let me tell you, this is some of the best headphone experience I've ever had. These two features, spatial audio and Dolby Atmos, are the ones I really miss in my Sonys. I've turned on all the audio improvement features, and they do sound really good, but they really lack the spatial feeling you get with AirPods. And yeah, I might not be the #1 music fan alive. I don't have crazy Spotify statistics, I don't use Spotify at all, and my #1 artist last year was Tyler the Creator. But I do know that there is no specific style that I prefer. I listen to everything, and regardless of which song I'm playing, whether it's classical music, rap, R&B, soul, or even jazz, the AirPods sound equally great. I know you were expecting me to say bad stuff about them as well, and I don't want to make this video a praise to Apple engineers, so here are a couple bad things I noticed. Like battery life. Technically, the earbuds themselves have a much longer battery life than the first or second generation AirPods Pro. And that's true. For me, they last about 7 to 8 hours of continuous playback, even though I rarely have them in my ears for more than 2 or 3 hours at a time. The total battery life with the case is actually less than the second generation AirPods Pro. With the case, you get up to 24 hours of total listening time with active noise cancellation, which is actually less than Gen 2's 30 hours. Apple sacrificed some case battery to make the earbuds last longer and fit in the new components, including the heart rate sensor. And this is kinda annoying, because once the case is low on charge, I'll get this notification on my iPhone that the battery is low, and I'll be getting it every couple of days, which gets really annoying really fast. At least I can charge them via Type-C, MagSafe or Apple Watch charger. So for me, while traveling, this is super convenient. I don't need to carry around a separate charger just for AirPods. Also, I don't really like that there is no more physical button for pairing or resetting the AirPods. It's touch sensitive now, and I don't actually know where it is. Haven't touched it once. Just bring back a physical button. It's not that much to ask. Another small gripe I have is that if I want to share music with my friends who don't have their iPhones updated to iOS 26, it can be really buggy. Sometimes it takes me a couple of tries to share the music. The headphones might randomly disconnect or behave weirdly. Also, sometimes when I take them out of my ears, specifically the left one, I get this hissing, high-pitched sound when I pull them out. Maybe that's just noise cancellation acting up, but I've had that on both first and second gen AirPods Pros as well. Kinda weird, don't you think? Also, why are the microphones suddenly this good? After I bought the third generation, I simply cannot use the first ones. The quality of the microphones is just terrible on those. If I'm sitting in a quiet room with the third gen, the audio will sound almost like I'm using a microphone placed directly in front of me. Almost like this one. And with the first gen, it sounds all muffled and disgusting. But I still do use my first gens, especially when I go to the gym. Now you might say, why don't you use the new ones? They have a heart rate sensor. And you'd be right, they do have it, and it works really well. The results are almost comparable to what my Apple Watch gives. But I'm one of those people who don't want to sweat out their new headphones. So for sweaty activities like the gym, I still use my first gens, especially if I know for sure that the gym doesn't have proper AC. Sometimes this happens in Asia, especially in Vietnam. Those $2 gyms are abysmal. I'm actually working on a video where I'll compare the AirPods Pro 3 and the Apple Watch for fitness. They cost about the same and have almost the same features. So instead of buying both, maybe you can stick to one device. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. I think the main demographic for buying the AirPods Pro 3 are people who are still using the first gen Pros or any AirPods without noise cancellation. If you have the second gen, you will notice a difference in sound, in noise cancellation and in microphones, but it won't be that huge. You can stick to the second gen for a couple more years, until the Gen 4 comes out, because all the features that the third generation has will actually work on the second one. They have the same chip inside, so live translation, U1 precision finding, and so on will work. Even features like using AirPods as a camera remote that were added in iOS 26 will still work on the second gen. Do I use live translation? No, I don't. It's pointless and useless. In these months, I have never met a single person who would not take out their AirPods while talking to me in a different language, or would not pull out the phone and open the translation app. I think it will take people a couple more years to get used to the existence of live translation. But maybe it's just me and some of you are actually using it. Write your thoughts in the comments. I kinda wanna know if there are any people using that. Oh, one more thing that I absolutely hate about the new ones is that they don't have a charging cable in the box. So even though the price stayed the same, $250, now you don't get a charging cable. Luckily, like I said, I can charge them via MagSafe, an Apple Watch charger, or the Type-C cable I got with my iPhone, so this kinda remedies that. And luckily, a couple months have passed since their release, and now you can find some pretty good deals for the 3rd generation Pros. And if you are really on the budget, I would actually recommend the 2nd gens, but only if you can find a really tasty price. I've noticed that most of the time the price difference is about $20 to $30, and at this price point I would rather get the 3rd gen. I don't regret buying them. I will keep testing them, keep using them, and I will update you in future videos. So like this video, subscribe to the channel to not miss them, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.